No shot. They're using this as the thumbnail on the Fox News channel with 12 million subscribers.
Luigi Mangione alleged Manifesto. To the feds, I'll keep this short because I do respect what you do for our country. To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone. This was fairly trivial. Some elementary social engineering, basic CAD, a lot of patience. The spiral notebook, if present, has some straggling notes and to-do lists that illuminate the gist of it. My tech is pretty locked down because I work in engineering, so probably not much info there. I do apologize for any strife of traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. A reminder, the US has the #1 most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly 42 in life expectancy. United is the largest company in the US by market cap, behind only Apple, Google, Walmart. It has grown and grown, but our life expectancy, no, the reality is these have simply gotten too powerful, and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. Obviously, the problem is more complex, but I do not have space, and frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument. But many have illuminated the corruption and greed decades ago, and the problems simply remain. It is not an issue of awareness at this point, but clearly power games at play. Evidently, I'm the first to face it with such brutal honesty.
All right, buck up. We begin with a Fox News alert. The suspect in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, has been charged after being arrested Monday at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Right now, he's being held at a jail in Huntingdon, Pennsylvania.
Yep. Alexis McAdams has been covering the case all week long from the time of the shooting, actually within the hour. Alexis is now joining us here. Alexis, bit of a surprise that we found him in Altoona.
That's right. And it came in from a 911 call from a worker of that McDonald's. So that's how this case ended up breaking, according to authorities. So the manhunt for the killer now ending at that McDonald's in Pennsylvania. Luigi Mangione's
should have gone to Burger King.
Facing a wide range of charges now, including murder right here in New York City. So the 26-year-old, you see him there on your screen, he was cuffed, then walked out of a Pennsylvania police department overnight. He's kind of looking around at the media, seeing who's out there, and there were a lot of cameras capturing his every move. Mangione then stood in front of a judge who explained that he could be extradited to New York City because he was hit with some charges in Pennsylvania, but the ones in New York City are the ones that are the most serious, including murder. So this comes after a McDonald's employee spots Mangione in Altoona, Pennsylvania. It's like a 4.5-hour drive away from where this murder happened. That person called 911 to report the sighting, saying, I think I recognize the guy in the wanted pictures, specifically his eyebrows and his eyes, because he was wearing some type of surgical mask as he was eating inside that McDonald's. Mangione was sitting there wearing that mask. Yep. When officers pulled up and asked him some questions, they said,
that's crazy because, like, people would always smoke weed at the McDonald's near me, and they would never call the cops on anything. Like, there'd even, I remember there were, like, these homeless people that would live at the drive-thru, and they would be like, as soon as you would pull up after you got the food, they'd be like, can I get your change? And I remember, like, the manager came out, I think she had, like, a broom. She's like, get out of here. Get out of here, Rufus. Go back over to the fucking median. You can't be at the McDonald's anymore. Yes.
Your mask, and then questioned the 26-year-old who they say started shaking visibly, acting really nervous when they asked him, were you recently in New York? Then he handed over a fake ID, and that's key because he used that fake ID, sources tell me, to check into a New York City hostel before the shooting. Mayor Eric Adams has been thanking the officer out in Altoona who caught Mangione. Listen.
Yeah.
Hey, Tyler.
I guess we found your guy.
Yes, we as New Yorkers, we appreciate it. And you just did a great job, heads up policing. You took a dangerous person off the street. We thank you so much.
It was great to do.
More than happy to do it. I can't say I was expecting it waking up this morning.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You just have to keep your eye out, and that's exactly what the worker did at McDonald's and the authorities there in Altoona. Mangione is facing these charges on your screen.
Yeah, not a surprise. What the fuck was that? I don't know. He rigged it? You think so?
Including second-degree murder in New York and possession of a loaded gun, a gun they believe he printed on a 3D printer. Mangione had
yeah, this is going to be really common, is that all the gun control and everything doing that's going to mean nothing because people are just going to be able to 3D print guns. Yeah, gun control is just, it's not going to happen. And they're going to be able to do this all around the world too, by the way. So like all of the countries where like people aren't able to like, own a gun legally, well, they're just going to be able to 3D print a gun. That's it. Where do you get bullets? I don't know. I don't know if you can 3D print that too. I have no idea.
Backpack with them at the time of the arrest. Inside was a handwritten note that they say explained a possible motive, talking all about how he was in severe back pain and talking about the healthcare industry, saying it was a big scam. Also inside was a weapon.
He's right. It is a big scam.
The Ivy League grad and Maryland native who went to a really, expensive prep school and then went to UPenn reportedly mentioned United Healthcare by name. Reading this, they say, parasites had it coming. I do apologize for any strife and trauma, but it had to be done. So some disturbing.
Jesus.
Word there that will all be part of this case. This is who was killed on your screen. He was a dad of two. He was only 50 years old, in town for work. He worked for United Healthcare for like 2 decades and was shot at least 2 times. In that video, he kind of gets shot in the leg first, then shot right in the chest. He leaves behind a wife and 2 kids. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro making sure people in their community know he was not a hero, this gunman.
In some dark corners, this killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero. The real hero in this story is the person who called 911 at McDonald's this morning.
I do think that it's very common that people on the internet have like these like internet vigilante, like revolutionary politics. Average normal people know that it's fucking insane to actually just go out and shoot somebody in cold blood. Like, this is not a normal opinion that real people have. This is an internet opinion that is held primarily by either children or people with the minds of children. Sorry. Yeah, chat's retarded. I know. A lot of people are favorable. And here's the thing. It is possible. It's the same thing with the Unabomber. The things that the Unabomber said, some of them I agree with. I do. But I don't agree with blowing people up. It's really simple. You can agree with some because you're soft. Well, so are you. Everybody thinks that they're going to be a hard ass whenever they're sitting in their air-conditioned room and nobody is going to target them. Why would somebody not target you? See, you think that you're one of the good ones until somebody else decides you're not, and then they shoot you. You can't live in a world like that. That's insane. Come on. What are we doing? Of course it's bad.
So Josh Shapiro using that moment to let everybody know, how he personally felt about some of the abhorrent behavior of people who thought this guy was anything but a murderer. But let's focus on the manifesto if we can. Handwritten, 2.5 pages, condemn the healthcare system. The document specifically mentioned United Healthcare, the insurance giant. You also, as you said before, one of the quotes was they called them parasites. You saw the document, he said, I do apologize for the strife and trauma.
Where's the rest
you
of
think? As I killed the father of your family and your husband, I apologize for that. But it's clear there was one person who was the high school valedictorian, went to UPenn, and it seems to be a different person now.
Yeah, something changed. You can listen to his speech when he was a valedictorian, at that prep school in Maryland, and he's talking all about how the class there in 2016 wanted to get out there into the world and make a big difference. And now you look at, he had a bright future. His family had posted about that. He was very intelligent in the classroom. And now
of course, right? Somebody says, what about the countless policies of the United Healthcare CEO approved, which caused people to be denied that led to direct deaths? Well, I think that if you want to use that logic, that the way that the person behaves and like what they're doing, then you have to take matters into your own hands and you have to kill them. Then I don't really see I don't see there being a large moral difference between that and burning down a building full of people that are making guns. I don't see there being a big moral difference. And so as soon as you start saying that The problem isn't that people can be... the problem isn't that, like, it's happening, right? I do think that, like, people like that should be held accountable. But you can't let an individual person decide what that accountability is. That's the difference. I think that almost everybody here agrees that insurance companies are bad, they're predatory, and they're pieces of shit. I think most people know that, or at least have that opinion, but that doesn't mean that you can kill the people that run them. I mean, it's just that simple. All right, how else then? You work towards democratic change by trying to get people to vote for things that you believe in, and you can change the system democratically. That's the way it works. And also, who says that this other private company has to be accountable to you? This is a private citizen and a private company. The default is that they're not accountable to you. Because what happens if you then become accountable to them? See, these people never think about it when the shoe's on the other foot. If you want other people to be accountable to you, and you're willing to use violence to assert that accountability, then don't be surprised when those people turn around and do the same thing. And they've got a lot more money, and they've got a lot bigger guns. Like, let's be honest. Chat's hypocrisy. It's not hypocrisy. It is short-sighted, childish thinking that a lot of people have because they never... Like, this is an internet viewpoint. If you go out into the real world, nobody is going to think like this or talk like this. This is a total thing. Zach is too naive to think there's a democratic process against lobbies like this. Do you think that they don't count the votes? So is that it? So you think that because the system is rigged, because you have decided that the system is rigged, now you get to kill everybody in the system. Well, okay, let's say you think the system's rigged. Based off of that argumentation, would it be okay, morally, to burn down a federal building with all the people in it? The problem, why? Why not? That's not the same. According to who? Are these chatters 8 years old? I think that they are. Mentally, I think, and ethically, I think they are. That would be the logical conclusion. Yes, it's the logical conclusion. What I'm saying is that your individual, personal, moral line that you're drawing is not everybody else's. So what you think is justified is not going to be what somebody else thinks is justified. So if you think that one person thinks killing the CEO is justified, the other person thinks burning the whole building down with everybody in it is justified. We can't live in a world like that. You can't do that. Who said it was justified? The people that are saying that it's good. And they're trying to rationalize why it's okay. And to say that, like, oh, well, he did this and it's okay for doing it. It's okay to do it because, what do you call it? Because the system's rigged. And he's trying to justify it too. 90% of people agree with this guy. Maybe we can make an exception when it's just crazy. Yeah, sure. No one needs to be held accountable. Just because you're rich doesn't mean you're evil. Yeah, sure. They would do it even if it wasn't justified. Sure. Absolutely. Everybody understands some people are just stupid. You'll never make me feel empathy for a CEO. Okay. I mean, it's not about having empathy. Like, you're not thinking, like, do you think I give a fuck if this guy dies? I don't care about this guy. Who gives a fuck about him? I don't give a fuck about him. Don't care about any of this. It's not my problem. I don't care. He's one random person. It's not the point. Like, nobody knew him. It doesn't matter. The point is that you can't live in a system that allows it to happen. It's the point of it. Like, I'm not empathizing with him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have anything to do with me. But you can understand that, like, the system itself is bad. Eventually we turn against you? Yes, of course.
He's looking, to spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Well, and people are starting to do a deep dive on his online profile. And I believe it was the Wall Street Journal looked at the reviews he wrote on books he had read. And among other things, he gave a book about the Unabomber's Manifesto 4 stars. And we don't know exactly why, if this guy...
There were a lot of other philosophers that over time have said things similar to what the Unabomber said. There are a lot of bad people that have some good ideas. Just because some bad people have some bad ideas doesn't mean that they also have good, doesn't mean that they don't also have good ideas too.
Is the guy right now. He is,
Broken clock is right twice a day. Yeah.
He's still the alleged shooter. But it is interesting when you start to look at his online stuff. His X account, formerly known as Twitter, features what looks like an X-ray of somebody who's gone through spinal surgery.
That's right.
Yeah,
And people who've known him say that back pain affected all parts of his life. Guy's 26 years old. Was he just kicked off his parents' health insurance? Is that why?
That's a very good component because now 26 is the age that you're off your parents' health care insurance. Very good point.
If he's the guy who did it, is that why this person wrote deny, delay, depose on those bullets? There are a lot of clues. We just haven't figured them all out unless it's the obvious one.
Yeah, and he had also written on social media and in some of these other things in the manifesto about how he's in severe pain. He used to be a really good soccer player, some of his friends had said, in high school, and he was very active when he lived in Hawaii. He was always hiking and doing all these things, and then he kept talking about how his back hurt so bad from whatever had happened to him. I don't know what type of injury, and how the hospital, it wasn't the doctor's fault, he kept saying, but they would deny his claims.
The insurance company.
Yeah, the insurance company. So we're going to have to see, what happened here. But I think it's so disturbing that so many people, like you guys mentioned, are cheering on the gunman and saying that he did.
There's not that many people that really think that. It's just a very small subset of people that are terminally online. Average people don't think like that. It's insane to think like that. Yeah, it's a very, very small percentage. It's just
a job
Redditors,
that needed
basically.
to be done.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that. And as someone that I cover crime, you've covered crime for years. It's not only that there are people that are celebrating this guy, but it's also his plight. People being upset with the healthcare.
Well, I think a lot of people can relate to him, right? It's very obvious that they do, and it makes sense. And the thing is that, do a poll? Why would I poll it? Poll it for what? I would poll people on the internet to say that people on the internet think something is stupid? Why would I do a poll? Are y'all retarded? What I'm saying is that most people that are not terminally online think this is disgusting and psychotic. And they think that it's bad. Normal people don't think this is good. This is only an opinion that people have on the internet. I'm sorry. It's a vast majority of people. Yeah, it's not even a question. And let's see. What was I saying before? What was the rest of it? Sorry, I got distracted.
This guy, but it's also his plight. People being.
Of course, people can relate to it. A lot of people have healthcare insecurity. That's it. It's American psycho behavior. You'd be surprised. I think you'd be surprised, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong. I think that a lot of people don't understand what. I think that most people, this is something that I've learned, is that most people are really stupid, and because they're really stupid, they can't process a second-order effect of their actions. So people can usually process an effect of their actions and what that action is going to do, but they very rarely can process the idea of what will happen as the reaction of their reaction. Isn't that refuting your argument? No. You disagree, therefore you're stupid? Great argument. Well, it is stupid. Because the thing is that everybody has a problem with something. And if you give people the justification to kill somebody because you have a problem with something, then everybody is going to be killing each other. I don't understand. It's so shocking to me that so many people can have such a short-sighted view on something that's such common sense. Every terrorist thinks that they're the good guy, basically. So if you have somebody who's killing healthcare insurance people, what about somebody who's out there killing religious people? They think religion is bad. They think the Catholic Church is full of pedophiles. And so then they go into a church and they kill everybody in the church. Right? There's another one. What if it's somebody with guns? And it is, right. And so you can go into a school. People think schools are indoctrinating people. They shoot everybody in the school. We have that happen. Is that justified? It's absolutely not. It's an overreach as fuck. It's not an overreach. That's the point that I'm making. Everybody thinks that it's an overreach because of their own personal viewpoint on it. It is not an overreach. It is only an overreach to you. If it's such a massive overreach, then how do we have terrorist attacks? Well, because for them, it's not. A CEO destroyed lives, you fucking retarded? So let's go ahead and let's explore this thinking. Do you think that you should go around and be able to shoot somebody that you don't like? Let's explore this line of thinking and see where it goes. Legally, no, never. Yeah, sure. Well, I'll give him a minute. We'll see what he says. He's going to roach out. So the CEO denies people health insurance to scoff at profits? Okay. So you think that... Do you think that anybody who denies health care should be killed? Anybody who denies... So is that how you think? They deserve what was coming? No. Very simple question. Anybody who denies healthcare should be killed. It's reductive. This is the problem that I think a lot of people have. They are unable to conceptualize that other people's logic is not their own. The CEO is different from everyone? What if I disagree with that? They're giving a fuck about you. They only see money. They're comparing that to original and it's not the same. Why is it not the same? A lot of people think that the church only cares about money. It's very common. Why wouldn't you do that? This chat's proving Zach's point of being terminally online. You're trying to lump in fallacies to justify your own disagreement. Well, it's because it doesn't make sense. Here's the way I see it. I think that if you apply this logic, and it's a person who maybe paints with a slightly broader brush, you could justify killing millions of people. It's not a fallacy. Yeah, it's not a fallacy. The thing is that if you... Repig, yeah, so why is this not the same thing? Like, I need to get some sun outside. You're confusing that most people see themselves as a group when they are against the insurance companies. Most people see themselves as a group when they're against the insurance companies. Oh, I think that they do. Absolutely. But why not just go burn them down? Why not burn down the insurance company building? Why not? And go to jail? Exactly. Roach down. There's no logic to this. Someone's religion isn't preventing their back surgery. Unlike the healthcare that people get rich via illness. A lot of people's religion does prevent surgery, such as abortion. Religion can be massively oppressive. It's just, there's no thinking to this. It's only feeling. There's no logic to this at all. But today, this is so strange. Yeah. It's like informing children on how to behave. People aren't thinking logically, they're thinking with emotion, and most normal people would agree you can't go around killing people. Yep. For example, Jehovah's Witnesses deny blood transfusions. Yep. There we go. I'll read another one. And I just want to show you guys that this line of thinking, walking into a church like Christ Church, is another story altogether. Why? Why is it another story? Because I think that logically you can make the same argument. Why? That's not even a point. It is. The point is that if you use this justification, so this is the way that I think about it. I think that most types of thinking, the more situations that they're applicable to, the better it is. And the fewer situations that they're applicable to, the worse it is. And what I'm saying is that when you use this logic in other circumstances that are similar, it would immediately seem terrible. So maybe the reason for that is because it's terrible logic. CEO's not a protected status? Well, why would I care about that? That's just a legal definition. I mean, like, I don't think people decide whether they want to shoot somebody based off of discriminate. Like, oh, well, we can't shoot these people. That would be discrimination. You're arguing with incomplete logic? Well, there's no logic at all to this at all. Religion is a choice. Insurance claim denial is not. You do choose to get United Healthcare insurance, and people choose what insurance they have. They absolutely do. I can charge you. Okay, so let's see. You're justifying one violent murder on camera as opposed to tens of thousands of silent murders. So where is your logic about this? It's common sense. Yeah, of course it is. People always don't act rationally. No, they don't. But I don't think that you should ever, you should never listen to people, and you should never take people seriously who aren't behaving and thinking rationally. So what's your point of view? Boston Tea Party war? Yeah, this is another one, right? Does not speak for chat. Murder's bad. No one is judge, jury, and executioner. I'm with you on this one. Oh, I know that most normal people are with me on this. But the internet, again, has a very big amount of people that are keyboard revolutionaries. That's what it is. Keyboard revolutionaries. So what's the logic here? I believe there should be a national jury trial for what? For this case? I'm confused. The government and police don't help people. They just fuck with us constantly. They should fear the people. So what happens? So based off of that logic, wouldn't it be okay to kill police officers? If you think that this is okay, wouldn't it be good for you to kill police officers? I mean, just say it. If that's what you think, just say it. Because this is where the logic goes. We're getting somewhere. Yeah, just say it. National jury trial. What is this here? A vote for the masses. If the masses agree he's a Robin Hood, then he shouldn't be held accountable. So I think the best way to disprove this argument would probably be with things like slavery and civil rights. So basically, just because a majority of people can agree to oppress or take the rights or liberty away from one person, it's not always a good thing. And that's why you have the government there that's allowed to ensure people's civil liberties for those reasons. So basically, if there is a mass vote of people that have decided that they want to have slavery, would you still want to have slavery? Like, if the masses agreed on slavery, do you think that we should have slavery again? And you did make another post. Let me go ahead and read it. As for taxes, like the other guy said, no, see, you're writing a paragraph. I'm going to untime you out. Do you think that based off of that logic with the police, that this justifies killing police officers? It's a very simple question. It's not, I feel like it's not complicated at all. That we're supposed to control the government? Oh, well, you didn't answer my question. Do you think if the masses agree on adding in slavery and bringing it back, do you think that we should have slavery? Because, like, this is what you say for this person killing this person, right? So, like, logically, I mean, you would probably also think the same for slavery, right? Yeah, I mean, so just say it. Stop overreaching? It's not an overreach. It's not an overreach at all. What I'm saying is that I'm applying their logic to a different situation, and I'm saying, does it hold true there? And the answer is no. When does this turn into killing police officers? We're talking about killing someone who literally stole millions. So how much money should you be able to cost someone before you can kill them? How much? What's the amount? No, let me read this one here. If that's what the masses agree on, yes. Okay, so this person thinks that we should have a vote to bring back slavery. All right. Well, I disagree. I don't think that we should. Yep, there we go. And so, again, as soon as this logic is applied to other situations, it immediately becomes psychotic. We'll go ahead and we're going to move past this. We'll still respond back to this person. So how much money would you have to steal from somebody? Would you think it's okay to kill them? How much? There's a farmer that killed 50,000 people and had to pay over $2 billion for it. So clearly people's lives have a cost. That's not the answer I asked. That's not the question I asked. If you think that it's okay to kill people who steal money, how much money? Where's the threshold? $50, $100, $1,000, $1 million? How much? Just think about it. Should we kill scammers? Yeah. You can't apply logic to other things, just like we have democratic government. Democracies can choose to have slavery, which means that democracy is bad by your logic. See, it just doesn't work. Well, we don't have a democracy. We have a republic, and certain civil rights are protected under that republic that are, to a certain degree, immune from democratic rule, which is a good thing and better for everyone. If a CEO takes your money and refuses to pay, yes, hanging should be brought back. Okay, so if you do work for somebody, let me get this straight. Okay, so let's say somebody hires you to do a job and they don't pay you for the job that you do. Should you be able to shoot them in the head and kill them? I wonder why we don't have ads on the channel anymore, guys. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah, we don't have ads on the channel. What happened to the ads? Sensitive political issues. Yep, there you go. I can't believe you're entertaining this idiotic conversation. I am, because I think that a lot of people need to see where the conclusion of this thinking goes. And I think that it's illuminating for a lot of people to see the most outspoken people about these topics make themselves look like fools. You're taking one small point away from a guy that destroys millions of lives. Okay, you didn't answer the question. If somebody does a job for you and they don't pay you, or sorry, if you do a job for somebody and they don't pay you, should you be able to shoot them in the head? It's a very simple question. If a CEO takes your money and refuses to pay, yes, you should be hung. Should you or not? Like, it's so easy. It's such a simple question. Or the leg and the chest. Yeah, there's definitely that, right? Or shoot them and kill them. To be honest, Asmongold didn't answer the question or made an argument for the last guy, just twisted his words. It's not twisting somebody's words to extrapolate the logic to a different situation and to see whether it would hold true. That's not twisting words. I don't condone murder at all, but some rich, fat, rich pigs that benefit the other people suffering should pay the price. Not murder, but police do nothing. Well, if it's not murder, then what should it be? Should we cut their legs off? We could set them on fire, but not entirely, like Curly in mouth washing. Could do that. Cut their fingers off. Another good one. Lot of options. You can be really creative with this stuff, okay? So where's the line? You can imprison them in your basement? Yep, true. Oh my God, Zach, there's an entire legal system dedicated to punishing people that unfairly punishes the poor way more than the rich. That would be the solution. Yeah, I think that they should go to jail too. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. We can't do anything because they're rich, and that's the whole fucking thing. You can't do anything. Has it ever occurred to you that a private citizen, you shouldn't be able to do anything to them? That another private citizen should not be accountable to you? Unless they break the law? We disagree with you on this? Who's we? There's like 15 or 20 people that are super outspoken about this. And I guarantee you that if they lived in a world where this happened, yeah, where's we? There's no we about this. He broke the law? Yeah. Put them on trial for breaking the law and charged with the murder? Yeah. Let's see here. So you're saying someone selling crack to kids should walk free because killing them would be wrong? No, but I'm saying that if they're selling crack to kids, then they should be put on trial and put in jail. Yeah, it would be wrong to just randomly shoot a person like that. Absolutely. Yeah. There's a legal process that you have to follow. And unless your life is immediately in danger, then no, you don't have a reason to kill them. Yeah. Your logic is flawed. How is that? What about the logic is flawed? What about it is flawed? You're ignoring to defend and depose part of the system. If you're poor, you don't have the money to defend yourself in court. Okay. So if you're poor and things don't go your way, you should kill people to get your way. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Okay. I guess. Okay, so if you have a world like that, what you're going to have happen is the people that you're going to kill are going to kill you first because they're the ones with all the money and the bigger guns. That's what's going to happen. That's not a world that you can live in. It's going to be chaos. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Let me look at this again. The guy making a stand is a good thing. It's sad, but I agree with him. CEOs don't go to jail. They drive around their fat boat getting away with it. So if you're unhappy with the outcome of a justice system, you think that it's okay to kill the person because you don't like what happened. You think that, well, the courts didn't rule the way I wanted them to rule, so I'm going to take justice into my own hands and kill somebody because of it. I mean, you're asking why we should abide laws and then let them be prosecuted, but if they do try the amount of time it takes for their actions, it's already too late or too much legal process. So you think that because the legal process is too slow for you, that you should be able to kill people because it's not fast enough. Is that right? I think we've been spending a long time about this. I guess Hitler should not be killed too by your standards. Hitler was killing a bunch of other people, and the reality is that the German people didn't kill him. He killed himself. Yeah, so is this guy? Yeah, so the CEO indirectly? Yeah. Both sides are too gray. I never said kill. I think they should be a better alternative to this. Oh, I think so too, but you shouldn't kill people. You can't live in a world, and here's the thing. You're trying to logically process an illegal action in response to an illegal action. It's not an illegal action. The healthcare CEO denying a claim is not defined to be illegal. That's not, you've decided that it's illegal. He backtracked? Of course he backtracked. Here's my point. I'm going to say this once and then I want to move on because we've talked about this a lot. We talked about it yesterday too. Anybody who is advocating for a world where because when you don't get what you want through the justice system, you get to kill people, that world would probably lead you getting naturally selected within 24 hours. That's the truth. There are a lot of people out there that if that were the rules, they would come to your house, they would kill you, and then they would live in your house because they want to live in your house and they don't want to live out on the street. This is not the way the world can work. You cannot decide to forego the legal process and kill people that you disagree with. If people were able to do that, the entire world would be a battle royale. And all of the countries that do have effectively a lawless state like that are terrifying, and they're run by warlords. And when the warlords take over, they just create a new set of rules. It's not like it becomes permanently like this. It's just a transitionary period. Yeah, it's like Escape from LA or Escape from New York City. Yeah, exactly. The people that are trying to talk about like how good anarchy is, that they're insane. Are you against capital punishment? If not, what dictates who's given that sentence? I am, but it's more of a nuanced reason why. It's not for why you'd think. So yeah, we live in that world. There's the place isn't currently that way. We do. And that's why it's such a good thing that we live this way. What legal process helps the situation? What could solve a family if what could solve the problem if a family needed insurance? Well, they don't really need insurance, they need health care. Insurance is just a way to pay for health care. I think that the real solution is having single-payer health care. That's what should have happened years ago. You're deluded and on the wrong side on this one? Can you explain this? We'll look at one more. The police can already confiscate. Yeah, so the government can already murder you. Can you give me an example for this? So if a police officer goes to my house and shoots me, just for no reason, what happens? Stop using insurance, so insurance companies shut down? Yep. Breonna Taylor? Yeah, I agree. That's really bad. Absolutely. Yeah, it was bad, for sure. Absolutely bad. So what's the point? Qualified immunity? Well, that's what I'm saying, right? The vacation, in some cases, they do. These are the same people that want to take away the Second Amendment right, and yet they want to kill everybody? Yeah, exactly. Government can already murder you. I used to work for a dipshit insurance company. Well, if you used to work for an insurance company, would it be acceptable for a person to kill you? And why not? If the answer is no, then why not? Because I morally, I don't see a big difference. I think that if you follow the logical path, it would be totally acceptable to do both things. I quit because it felt morally wrong, and it was all to make money. So it's okay that you did it because you did it in the past, and so now you shouldn't be held accountable. So if like a CEO retires, then you shouldn't be able to kill him, but you should be able to if they're working there at the time. Is that it? That's unhinged? Yeah. That was such a ridiculous logical leap. No, it's not. Thousands of people die per year, per se, for insurance denials. Yeah, so why would it not be acceptable for a person who thinks that that's terrible to kill you, a person who worked at the company? Why would that be morally wrong under your own logic? Explain it. The last thing that these experienced people think, no. This is some claim agent telling them no. No. That's not my point. Why would it be unacceptable? Do you think that somebody should justifiably be able to kill you as an individual for working at one of these insurance companies? Very simple question. They never answer the question. The politicians have rigged the legal system to allow them to do this with disconnection. Why do you guys think he's not answering the question? Why do you guys think that? It's because he knows the logical conclusion of this thinking is that it would be totally morally justified to help somebody. Because if you said I was just following orders, number one, you're not being compelled to work in an insurance company. You can work somewhere else. And number two, Nazis tried that and everybody thought it was wrong. They rigged an entire system to let this happen in a way that would seem psychopathic if one person did it. It's such a simple question to ask people. It's so simple. Logic won't make any sense when people's when talking about people's lives based off of circumstances. If you want to do something that is in your own best interest, that is bad, then that's okay, but just don't ask for a justification for it. That's the issue that I have. I don't care if people do bad things, but I do care if they do them and then they act like they're a hero. That's the annoying thing. It's immoral but perfectly legal. So you didn't answer the question. Because you worked at an insurance company, would it be morally wrong to kill you based off of your logic? He's next. Yeah. He's never going to answer. I don't think it is. No? Well, why not? I don't see why not. It doesn't make sense. Being resistance, yeah, it's just, this is just you're literally just spamming. I quit when I saw how wrong it was. So, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so you think that, no, we'll keep going. You think that if you see that something is wrong after you do it, you shouldn't be able to be held accountable for it. Is that right? So you negatively affect and hurt somebody, but then you decide, wait a minute, that was bad. I shouldn't do that. Necro build? Yeah. I'll give it a minute. They're going against the, what is this here? I robbed the bank, but I was wrong, so it was fine. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think all people in the company are responsible, but some people do have a larger responsibility. Well, where's the line of which ones you can kill, though? Like, I don't care about, like, what that is. Like, where's the line of killing people? Is it just the CEO? What about the COO? The chief operating officer? What about the CFO? Because they're the ones that are managing the finances. So I feel like in a lot of cases, the CFO should be the one that you should shoot, right? If you're looking for the person who's trying to save money, it should be the CFO. Are you saying that you should do that? I don't think the CEO should have been killed, but I understand why millions in the US are driven to feel the way they want to. Of course anybody can understand that. Okay, so you agree with me then. Okay, great. So we finally arrived at the conclusion that killing people randomly with no trial is bad. What a shock. Incredible. Wow. I swear to God, man, there are some really interesting people on the internet. This is crazy. It took long enough. It did. And I want to let you guys know that for any of these other people that are really adamant about this in chat, it would take just a similar amount of time to lead to the exact same conclusion. It is a childish opinion that cannot exist in the realm of rational thought. And any reasonable, normal person knows that. And upon even the slightest investigation, logically or ethically, into this idea, you can immediately see the infinite amounts of bad conclusions that it will come to. That's it. Sorry, guys. This is an opinion that is held by revolutionaries on the internet that if it was carried out in real life, in actuality, they would be naturally selected first. Let's move on.
And upset with the healthcare industry, the fact that people almost find him sympathetic, even if you start to get deeper, and if this allegation about the back pain being so much painful that led him to this.
The trigger.
I'm concerned that the jury, there's someone in there that can relate that would let a guy like this off. I've never seen anything like this before.
I know. And then
I think that people in the jury absolutely would not let him off, because part of the jury selection process would probably remove people that were involved in any sort of insurance stuff. So you would have people that were part of the jury that wouldn't have a emotional connection to it. That's the same reason why you don't have people, like for a murderer, for example, you don't have the people, the family of the person who was murdered on the jury, right? Because they're a little bit biased. So no, they would not do that. It's not what would happen. Now, it could happen, but what he's saying is like, you know, you do have a massive jury selection process.
Investigation continues. Yesterday, you know, we saw so many divers out there in Central Park. They were searching for any evidence they could find, like the other backpack that had Monopoly money in it. So that could come into play in a courtroom. And then also the backpack he had with him in Altoona, that backpack had a weapon in it. They don't know if that's a specific weapon, I'm told, that was used in the shooting. So did he print multiple guns? Did he have other possible possible victims that could have been coming? We don't know.
It's hard to
It's crazy how we have 3D. I feel like the 3D printing of guns is one of the things that I feel like a lot of the gun control people, like, how do you reconcile that? What do you do? Like, it's absolutely insane. Yeah, exactly. You can't, right? I mean, like, you can't. Like, so you make 3D printers illegal? Like, I don't know. You got to control the bullets? I mean, it's bullet control? I don't know if you can 3D print a bullet or not. I have no idea. Can you? I assume that you probably can, right? Or you can 3D print. Let's take a step back from the idea of bullet, and let's look at, can you 3D print a projectile that, when launched out of an object, will arrive at the subject or the target with a velocity that can kill them? I think the answer to that is absolutely yes. A bow and arrow. Yeah, that's how Shenzo was killed. He was. I learned that from Hassan.
Believe that you can do that.
Tweet.
One of his, so he lived in the Surf Break co-living community in Honolulu. Residents there said that he did have chronic back pain. Here is one of his roommates. I don't know if this is a college roommate or someone from Hawaii. College roommate. Hawaii. All right, listen to this.
Unfathomable, knowing the kind, person that I saw and knew. I remember he said he had a back issue and he was hoping to get stronger in Hawaii. It also weighed on him that he knew that there was an impending surgery.
So we're wondering, is that what caused him to snap? Was he in so much pain? But now he's going to be sleeping on a bed in a prison. The pain's going to be worse.
That's right. They have him in a holding cell. He's going to be possibly, in federal lockup. If you look at the charges that could come from printing a gun, I don't know.
It's true. He does have free health care now. Well, Luigi wins in the end.
What kind of facility he'll be in. But yeah, he's going to have big problems here down the road. You got to wonder too, did his family, did anybody recognize those pictures? How did a guy at McDonald's in Altoona say, hey, I think I've seen that man? And the family did not, according to investigators.
Alexis, do we, our stage manager, Chris, said, why not first degree, which is capital murder? It was premeditated, judging by the manifesto. Do we expect more charges at some point today? Or do you think they're going to stay in the second degree?
I think it could change. I think those were just, the ones they could get him on now, and then they could always update. They just wanted to make sure they had a really tight case. They don't want it to get to court, possibly. And
my big confusion about this whole thing is that I wonder what Luigi's ideal outcome was. Because that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. Because it seems like he didn't really do a lot to hide his identity afterwards, but he also did do something. So, like, what was the goal?
Have this thing flip. So they just charged him with that for now. But also the question is, did he really want to get this specific CEO, or was he looking for anybody?
The message wouldn't have really gotten out because nobody could have deciphered why he killed the CEO if we didn't know who killed him. Because it could have, for all we know, it could have been another insurance company paid to have the guy killed. It could have been anything. It could have been some personal dispute. So I think that, like, you couldn't have been certain about that. You think maybe the casings? You're right. That's actually a pretty decent argument, that the casings were supposed to be the message itself. I don't know. I wonder, like, what was his best case scenario?
That was coming in and out that day.
Sure. And, the thing about ghost guns, and I remember from the debate when, this became an issue, was they would be hard to detect in X-ray machines. You could take them onto an airplane.
Yeah, sure.
And so Fast forward to now, and it's like, you know, you can look online and figure out how to print one up.
Yeah, of course.
The guy was at UPenn studying computer science. He was an engineer. If anybody should have no problems doing it, it would be somebody with that resume.
That's right. Yeah, background in engineering, 2 degrees from UPenn, and this is what he used it for. So we're going to have to see what plays out here.
All right, Alexis, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Shocking, though, isn't it? Not the type of guy that we would expect to do something like this with his family background, his parents and grandparents.
I'm going to be honest. I think that if you look at everything together, it makes a lot of sense. As I said before, not justifiable, but it makes a lot of, like, I can easily see how this happens. Yeah, of course.
Parents opened country clubs and healthcare facilities, real estate company. They had money.
Yeah.
He went to this private prep school in Baltimore called the Gilman School.
Yeah, he had quite the pedigree, so now he's going to be possibly behind bars for the rest of his life.
Okay, well, thank you. Great job, Alexis. You've been working hard on that story.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
He did like the Unabomber. He rated the Unabomber's book a 4 out of 5. So that's pretty good. I gotta say that, you know, like, not a fan of the whole shooting people thing, but everything besides that, I gotta say, I kind of agree with Luigi on a lot of it. I feel like I'd probably get along with him. You know? Be real. He seemed like a pretty reasonable, you know, thoughtful guy. Don't know what to say. With the killer? Well, I mean, that's not... I mean, that's bad. For sure, that's bad. But I'm talking about besides that. Yeah. Suck one dick. Yeah. You read 100 books, you shoot one CEO, you're not a book reader, you're a CEO killer. There you go. Well, what about the 100 books? Was I killing him? Yeah, I guess so, right? And holy fuck. And IGN gave him a 6 out of 10 before any of this began. Yeah, I guess so. And Spitty's kind of person actually had a chance to make a change and he fumbled it. That's some Hassan interviewing terrorist type take. I think that it's incredibly interesting how people think that terrorists aren't people. I think that a lot of the guys in ISIS, how many people do you think in ISIS would have grown up and joined ISIS if they didn't spend their entire youth having a foreign power occupying their country? I think the answer to that is less. I think less. That doesn't mean that it's good to be in ISIS. But if you can't reverse engineer why a person does something bad, you can never stop the action from occurring because you don't know where it's coming from. So if you can't understand the problem, you can't solve it. It's way less? Yeah, it's that simple. It's a system's fault. Yeah, there are a lot of systems that are really bad. And I hope that, honestly, maybe this make people open their eyes and see and realize like how bad the healthcare system is. But I don't really think that it will, personally. I don't think so at all. So free healthcare in America? Well, it wouldn't be free. It would just be paid for with taxes. That's my viewpoint. It would be paid for with taxes. It's simple. Your logic fallacy remains. The only way we can let justice take care of itself is to require you to think that justice treats everyone equally regardless of class. Justice doesn't treat everyone equally, but it's the closest thing that we have to treating everyone equally. So the problem is that nothing is perfect, but because nothing is perfect, that doesn't mean for you to just advocate for a more imperfect solution that's convenient for you. Of course, the world is not perfect. However, it's probably more perfect than a random person's judgment. That's the difference.